Steven Universe is the property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and its respective owners. Any and all footage or images have been used for the sole purpose of critique or parody, and as such are protected under fair use. Please support the official release. Hey, how are you? I'm SliceofOtaku, and the source of gem corruption is one shrouded in mystery. I mean, what or who could have caused it? Because to our knowledge, just like the Gem Rebellion for Earth, this has never happened before. Peridot even tells us there are no gem monsters on Homeworld. Yet Homeworld, namely the Diamonds, decided to somehow corrupt all gems located on Earth at the time. But why do that when they had already been at war for over 1,000 years already? And why would they also sacrifice gems who were fighting in the war for them? Well, for revenge. I believe the Diamonds underestimated and indulged the rebellion to assert their dominance over the gems who dared to oppose them. That way, no one would ever try again. But this totally changed when Pink Diamond was supposedly shattered by Rose Quartz, leader of the rebellion. This was no longer a threat to be taken lightly. Forget making them an example. To the Diamonds, they deserved eternal torture, aka corruption. To put it into perspective with our own world, hitting the Earth with corruption is comparable to the United States nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, where the bombing of Pearl Harbor is considered a driving force in their actions, thus ending the war. To piece together the truth, we'll have to look to the gem murals located on both the moon base and the pyramid temple. Firstly, the moon mural gives us a gist of what the diamonds each look like and how many colonies they have individually acquired. And as you can see, the unnamed diamond, who we'll presume is known as White Diamond, has the most by a landslide. Another thing to note is her pose. In between her hands is a circle that I believe is a representation of Homeworld. Yes, I believe White Diamond is the supreme leader of Homeworld. In both the Era 1 and Era 2 emblems, her White Diamond is consistently placed on top. And generally speaking, in the real world, the clearer the diamond, the more valuable it tends to be. And white diamonds can be as clear as glass. This is important, so try and keep all this in mind because we're moving on to the pyramid triangle that contains a mural that I have observed for hours on end. I kid you not, I've been looking at this thing forever. So right off the bat, up top we can see representations of the sun and the moon, which clearly indicate day and night. So because of this, we will decrypt the mural in a counterclockwise rotation. Directly next to the sun, we have a diamond descending from the sky towards Earth as hands rise towards her in either praise or fear. Now here arises dispute. Due to the placement of the featured diamond's gem, most people believe this gem to be either blue or yellow diamond. I disagree. I believe this to be a general diamond identification, a broad stroke to symbolize a diamond. What we should look at is the appearance of the diamond's hair, pose, and features. So take a good look at this diamond's hair. She has her hands even cupped towards her chest. This specific image most resembles the representation of White Diamond on the moon base, so I believe this displays White Diamond finally being provoked enough to come to Earth. And because we assume White Diamond to be the true leader of Homeworld, she is essentially a god among gods. So even crystal gems in the heat of battle will be overwhelmed by her presence and hence raise their hands. Next is the big one. Obviously, Rose Quartz is battling a diamond, but which diamond? In the past, everyone swore that this was Blue Diamond, but now we know she looks nothing like this image. So if we decipher this in the same way we did to identify White Diamond, this has to be Pink Diamond. The hair is a match, and even the legs are a match. Yes, this is the fateful battle that changed everything. Rose Quartz battled Pink Diamond and her forces and won. So when it comes to other stuff, I'll admit that at first those black symbols around Rose stumped me. I really had no clue what they could be, but then I saw a prototype sketch for the mural's design. At the time, they were designed as humanoid figures, presumably crystal gems. But the kicker is the number of them. Now on the left we have plenty, but on the right in the final design there are only 2, whilst in the prototype there are 3. Some people might brush that off as nothing, but to me, that helps us figure out who these gems really are. And I think they're Pearl and Garnet. Remember, this is episode 8 of the first season. Plans for the storyline may have changed over time. It's very possible that at this time, Amethyst was intended to fight in the war, and that is why she is included, making it 3 of them. But this doesn't mean you should count up the gems on the left, because if you notice, next to them is a seemingly random symbol, but in math, this symbol represents power. So, multiply the number that you see by itself multiple times, and that's how many that fought. Oh yeah, and that circle you see above them is not the moon. After all, we've already addressed that crescent moon on top. Guys, this is the same circle that White Diamond held in her hands on the moon base mural. This is Homeworld. The shapes seemingly coming down from it are, by contrast to the crystal gem representations, a representation of Homeworld gems coming to Earth to aid in the war. Alright, we're almost done with this mural. The next panel up seems to contradict both our hair and figure rule. This diamond looks unlike any we have seen, and it isn't Yellow Diamond because it doesn't look like her either. Guys, this is Black Diamond. Yes, Black Diamond, the god of gods, pretty much a titan. I know, this is hard to take in when we know so little about the diamonds in the first place, but let's once again use context clues to aid us. In the Era 2 emblem, the 3 remaining triangles converge to create a small black one. This is oddly eerie, and we do in fact recognize portions of this diamond's appearance, its eyes and lips. At the end of the same episode, Sirius Steven, the crystal gems discover a black totem with a diamond on its forehead, a diamond in its chest, black lips, and black eyes. Black Diamond is the fusion of yellow, blue, and white diamond, which by the way would be massive, seeing as Yellow Diamond stands nearly 3 times taller than Yellow Pearl, making her size comparable to that of Opal, the giant woman. And as for what's behind her, it's not the sun, it's the corruption light. Black Diamond somehow has the ability to corrupt gems and used it to punish the rebels. Fun fact, in our world, Black Diamonds are said to originate from space and are affiliated with deaths in some cultures. Sounds familiar. As for why they left the Earth alone afterwards, it's simple. Earth is a constant reminder of what they had lost, their biggest failure. Gem mutants were created as a sort of eternal hell for shattered gems. They were practiced for the cluster, comprised of shattered crystal gems that were planned to destroy from within the very planet that they risked everything to protect. So there you have it. Answers. Honestly, I could have split this into like 3 different videos, but I prefer to give it my all in each video. That way, they're better standalones for you guys to enjoy. I'd also like to thank all of you guys for the incredible support you've shown me with this channel. It's really amazing, and I'd love it if we could continue that with this video, so be sure to leave your comments. And also, be sure to share this video too, pass it around to your friends, and I hope to see you all in the next one.